I am speaking with Assistant Fire Chief Christopher Hill today, and we're just talking about with the recent cold snap, how people need to be a little bit more cautious with things like their furnace vents. Maybe doing some routine maintenance on your furnace if you have one. What are some things you would recommend people do during this extremely cold weather?
Yeah, it's been quite cold recently. So we first off recommend that everybody has a CO detector on every floor of their home. You can buy combination alarms, which are CO and smoke detectors all in one. So with the appliances like furnaces, they can emit CO, which is colorless, odorless, and tasteless. And it actually gives off the same symptoms as having the flu. Sometimes people can, be confused, nauseous, that kind of thing. So having a CO detector is a really important way to be able to detect that gas. And then the vents that protrude that gas outside of your house, sometimes the vents can ice up and create like a cone and actually push that CO back into your home. So we always recommend that you go outside every few days and just check to make sure that that CO hasn't been trapped in that ice cone and isn't coming back inside of your house, and just to clear the ice and the snow away from those vents to make sure it's venting out as it should properly. And then, as with any furnace or wood stove, just annually having it checked by a qualified technician and cleaned as well is really important.
So a lot of people also use their basements as storage space, and I think maybe around gas furnaces and such, that's probably not the best idea. Is there a recommendation around that?
Yeah, that's a good point as well. Yeah, like you say, people kind of, Christmas time or, different holiday occasions, they have all their decorations and all their storage stuff underneath the, staircase or in their service rooms. But, some storage is okay. But we always recommend that you have at least a 3 foot distance between electrical panels, hot water tanks, furnaces. And that's just to, let these things operate as they should. And, should anything arise as well, you're not going to have anything that's too close to catch any radiant heat, or if anything had any sparks coming out of it.
Just on the note of carbon monoxide detectors, what should a person do if their carbon monoxide detector goes off and says that levels are a bit high? What's the recommendation there?
Yeah, so immediately vacate your house and call 911. Our crews are on shift 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. They're always happy to, serve the community of Lloydminster. Even if you're not sure of the sound that it's making, if you think it's a low battery, if your alarms are beeping at all for any reason, it's best to just call 911 if you're really unsure. And our crews will be there, and will be there to come help you out.
I'm sure a lot more people are using space heaters and that kind of thing. Have you had many calls to deal with that, or have people been pretty safe with them so far?
Yeah, it's been the holiday season was a fairly a good season for fire statistics, which was really nice to see. But it is always good to put out a reminder, especially you talk about those space heaters and those appliances. So the first thing we like to recommend is that people are using CSA or ULC approved appliances. That you'll find the stamp on the appliance. So go to your Canadian Tires or your WalMarts and buy the stuff that's approved. We don't recommend that you buy these appliances off Amazon and are coming from different countries that aren't approved appliances. So what can happen with those is the wires or the mechanisms inside can actually break down, and they do frequently cause fires and they get recalled. So it's really important that people are using these appliances appropriately, as well as keeping a kid-free and a pet-free zone around your space heaters so that they don't tip them over and can cause a fire that way. And then also too, with you plugging in your space heaters, not to overload your circuits. So if you're using a power bar, don't plug power bars into power bars, and make sure that you're not overloading those power bars for what they're rated for. And using the ones with the surge protectors are really important as well, because if there is a power surge, or you did overload it, they will shut themselves down, and they're much more safe. So.
All right, Christopher, those are my only questions for you today. Is there anything else that I may not have asked that you might want to add?
Yeah, just a couple more safety points. So we know with the holiday season kind of that just passed, kids may have new electronics that they're plugging in. So, tablets, cell phones, electronics. We just want to remind people not to cover those things up with blankets or putting them underneath their pillows. They can heat up, and those chargers will actually cause a fire. We do see that. So there's a really important point there. Just making sure everyone has checked their smoke alarms, making sure they've changed their batteries. They do have a working smoke alarm on every floor. And then just another kind of occurrence we've seen a lot recently, if anyone's in an apartment building or owns a business here in town, just if your fire alarm is going off for the apartment or your business there, just not to reset your own fire alarm panel, and that the fire service is the only personnel that are authorized to kind of reset the fire alarm panel. So if your fire alarm is going off, please call 911 immediately. Our crews again are always available 24/7, 365, and they'll be there to help reset your alarm panel.
Christopher, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. I do appreciate it.